Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Sunday. Welcome back. I hope your day is off to a good start. So I am filming this video on a brand new camera that I had to buy yesterday because my Nikon Coolpix camera that I have literally had for like 8 years finally gave out on me. So I bought a nicer Canon camera. I figured, I don't know, maybe it's time to like up the quality a little bit. But the thing is, I don't know how to use cameras like this. So you're gonna have to bear with me as I read through the manual and figure out the different settings. Like you can adjust the lighting. There's so much stuff on here. So please bear with me as I figure out how this all works. But I do think that I can get this, I think I can stumble my way through this video, so let's do it. All right, I have received a few questions about my Kringle Collab candle. Some of you were wondering where I was at in the process, and I can give you guys an update today because I have what are probably going to be my last 2 samples to test. And I kind of wanted to walk you guys through where we are currently at in the process. I don't have a release date yet. So, but the candle will be available for purchase at Kringle, obviously after it is released. So as soon as I have some more date information, I will let you guys know. But today I thought I could give just a quick rundown of this collab for those that are new. I will also link some videos in the description box that you can reference that will probably maybe answer more questions if you are somewhat new here. So be sure to check that description box down below. But I received the opportunity to create a custom candle with Kringle late last year when I was doing a live stream with Mick from over at Kringle Candle, the CEO, as well as Brett from over at Philly Candleman. We were doing a live stream where we were just kind of talking about candles, and Mick just kind of sprung it on us and asked if we were interested in creating our own custom candle, and then he would make it available for purchase for those that are interested. So I was really honored, and I do just have to say I am incredibly thankful for this opportunity. I really did not think that I would ever have the chance to do something like this, and we were not expecting it at all. So it came as a total surprise, and it's been really fun and interesting to go through this process and to see everything that it takes to, like, I'm just doing 1 scent, right? Like, it's amazing to me how much work goes into just 1 scent, but then to think about like all of the collections that, you know, not just Kringle, but like, you know, all the candle companies put out every single year, like, and everything is done so far in advance. So, you know, here we are just getting excited about fall candles getting ready to drop when the people in the candle industry are already thinking about spring and summer for next year already. So everything takes place like well in advance of the actual release. So you have to source the oils. Well, first you have to come up with a concept. You have to source all of the raw goods. You have to create the candles. You have to test them. You have to tweak them. You have to test them. You have to tweak them. Like, there's just this, like, there's a lot of work that goes into just one candle. So it's been a very interesting process for me to go through this, and it's kind of cool to be able to share it with you guys as well. So I will list or link the video in the description box down below where we did our original chat where Brett and I found out about the collab. I will also link my very first video where I shared the first round of samples that came, kind of sniffed through those. And I haven't done an update in a while. Things have still been happening, but I didn't really know how to present it, but I do have some samples here today that I thought we could sniff through. So I know a lot of people really expected me to do a gourmand fragrance. You guys know that if it smells like a cookie or a cake or really anything foodie related, like give it to me, right? Like that, those are the types of fragrances that I really gravitate towards, is anything that smells like a cookie or a pie or just delicious. So I didn't choose a gourmand fragrance though. And the reason that I didn't is because I've always been on the lookout for like the perfect holiday candle. There's certainly a lot of candles that I love during the holidays. But I've always wanted the perfect like orange pomander candle. And so that's what I decided to create, is a sort of vintage, like Victorian inspired orange pomander fragrance. When I was growing up as a little girl in Germany, my Oma used to, I think she just did it to keep me busy and out of her hair, but during the holiday time, she would sit me down with a bowl of oranges and some cloves. And I think this is a pretty common tradition in a lot of European countries, but you just make these orange pomanders. So you basically stick the cloves into the orange, and it's just the most amazing like holiday aroma. That fresh, sweet, juicy orange combined with that clove, it's just heavenly. So one of the things that, you know, I was thinking about when thinking about like the type of fragrance, I just thought, you know what, like this would be a good way for me to sort of pay homage to that memory, which I love so much. Like I absolutely adored my Oma, and we were very, very close. So I thought this would be a great way to sort of honor that memory. Plus, I think it's just a type of fragrance that a lot of people like during the holidays. So I just wanted to create my version of that. So that's how I landed on orange pomander. I definitely am a big fan of, I'm kind of like a history person. And one of my favorite times in history is the Victorian era. I just think it was such a, like, it's just an amazing time in history. So much changed in the world, and like, it's just fascinating, like the culture back then. And, you know, like it just is super, super interesting time. But I also just love a lot of like the old school Victorian decor, like those heavy, dark, moody colors, and just lots of tchotchkes and stuff everywhere. Like it just, that cluttered Victorian vibe. Like I love that. So I have this like vision for the perfect label in mind, but I definitely want it to go with that like Victorian vibe. So I'm still hunting down a label at this point, but the overall idea of the candle was just having a classic like European vintage orange pomander scent. That was the vibe that I was going for. Anyway, so the very first set of candles that Kringle sent, I had 3 completely different fragrances. The one that stood out to me the most was what we called vintage pomander to begin with. And after burning this, the one thing that I really sort of was thinking about was, I wish this was just a little lighter on the clove, a little sweeter in terms of that juicy orange. And I also wanted just a touch of like a holiday tree vibe, right? So I sent that feedback back to Kringle. I am working with John over there, who is fantastic. He has been sourcing all of these oils. So every time that I have asked for edits, you know, I send what I think needs to be changed, and then they, knowing how to make these things, these candles, tweak it, and then they send out the tweaked candles for me to be able to test out. So these are what I think are going to be my final samples. There's 2 different versions of the vintage pomander that has been modified. There is vintage pomander option 1 and vintage pomander option 2. Now, the very first time that I tried to film this video and my camera futzed out, I did stick my nose in these. I wanted to save my first reaction for being on camera, but I just could not wait any longer because I had already waited like a day or 2 before trying to film it the first time, and they were just sitting in my office. And so sorry, this is not going to be a first sniff, but one of these is definitely going to be it for sure. I love both of these. And yeah, so from here, I think we have what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and sniff through these, and I'll kind of try to explain what I think the differences are, but I really need to burn them to see, I think, which one will end up being the ultimate selection. And I won't say which one it is until the candle is actually released. And I'll give you guys the scent notes and all of that kind of stuff. So option 1 is much brighter and sweeter and juicier on the orange note. The clove is a little bit more like in the background, but I feel like that's almost kind of perfect because the clove may come out more when it's burning. But right now I really like what I'm smelling in terms of the fresh juicy orange that's in here. There's even just like a hint of like a holiday tree note. This is really, really nice. Now option 2, very similar, but a little bit, I feel like this one is just slightly softer on the orange. Not quite as juicy, not quite as sweet, and this one just smells a little more like mellow overall. I don't get as much of the tree note on this one, but I really like what the clove is doing in this on cold sniff. I'm very, very curious to burn these because I think they're gonna be very different when they're burning. You know how sometimes when you smell a candle, like it smells exactly like how it does on cold sniff, and sometimes you light a candle and it completely changes once that like heat warms those oils up and it just transforms the fragrance. I feel like both of these have the potential to really transform when they're burning, so that's what I need to do. I need to light these. Man, I really like option 1 so far on cold sniff. Just that like stronger, juicier, brighter orange note really speaks to me. I'm so excited to burn these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go downstairs, I'm gonna light these bad boys up, and I'm gonna start testing them this week and get my feedback over to Kringle. And if there's any additional tweaks, we can do those, but I don't know. Just based on cold sniff, I don't know that we'll need any more, but really, really excited to see this come together. And as soon as I have a release date for you guys, I will definitely let you know. My goal would be to have this be released around this holiday season, so fingers crossed. But I need to get to looking for a label and coming up with like a beautiful flowery description, you know, all of that fun stuff. So this is an amazing process. I am really, really thankful for the opportunity, and I'm so glad that I get to take you guys along and that you get to kind of see what this process is like with me. So like I said, I am really, really thankful to Mick and his team. They are absolutely fantastic to work with, and this is an amazing opportunity. And I cannot wait to see this come together and for you guys to be able to experience it as well. I do think that what I really wanted to do was not only create something that was like really meaningful to me, but something that would also bring joy to all of you guys as well. You know, I think the holidays are a time of year when people just are genuinely a little bit more happy. People tend to be a lot more pleasant to be around. It's just that time that, like, I wish people would be, you know, in this type of generous, happy mood year-round. So, but, you know, I will definitely take it during the holidays, and I hope that this candle is something that can bring some joy into your homes as well. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will continue to update you on where we are in the progress. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. Toodaloo.